and they investigate, and they will occasionally debunk it. You know, like they say, well, this is really just a pattern on a tortilla. Nothing paranormal going on here. And but other times, it seems like there's more going on, and the church will kind of embrace it and kind of allow a cult of Mary to grow around the event. In particular, this happened in Fatima, Portugal, in I believe it was 1917, and the church sent 2 skeptical priests to debunk the thing while it was happening, and the priests wound up like confessing on their knees. I mean, they were completely turned by this thing. So let's just jump in with both feet here. Can we have the first slide? This is just for fun. Found this on the internet. This represents the fact that this topic is talked about among ufologists. It's a pretty weird idea, but basically there are some parallels between some UFO phenomena and some of these apparitions of the Virgin Mary. I would like to offer the caveat that the events I'm about to talk about one explanation for them is mass hallucination. I was just told by Ben Marsden, who did a lecture here earlier about UFO history, that there was a guy on a farm here in Minnesota who claimed the Virgin Mary would show up on his farm on a certain date, and apparently, this was a few years ago, and apparently it drew hundreds and hundreds of spectators waiting. They all had, by and large, they were a crowd of the faithful, and they were deriding Ben and his companions, who were basically there to gawk at people. And but Ben says what happened is the sun broke through the clouds for a second, and then the clouds like covered up the sky again. It was an overcast day, and they were like, well, that was it. Nothing happened for hours except that. But reports later were that the Virgin showed up, all these miracles happened, and Ben's like, well, we didn't see anything like that. It was just the sun poked through the clouds. So we have to appreciate that there's a possibility that when people want to see something, they will see it. If they are culturally predisposed to see something, they will read into whatever it is. Now, on the other hand, these events at Fatima, Portugal in 1917, if we accept them at face value, what we find is that you can submit them to an Earthlights analysis. Now, Earthlights is one of the theories of UFOs we've been talking about today, that there's a bizarre natural phenomenon that almost exactly mimics UFOs flying in the sky. It mostly takes the form of balls of light and glowing luminous apparitions and things of that nature. And this style of UFO is produced by the local geological features, copper deposits, various mineral deposits, seismic stress and fault lines, which carry electric current, things like that, could potentially ionize parts of the gases in the atmosphere, which would then glow and do weird things and have like electromagnetic effects on people's brains, which would then cause them to hallucinate and maybe encounter entities and like that, sort of what Alan was talking about before. There's lots of different angles on this. Specifically, I'm going to focus on this theory that maybe something like this happened at Fatima, and it does not rule out that there was an entity involved. I do not believe that if there was an entity that it was the Virgin Mary. Again, I'm more of a secular person, but there were some people who reported talking to someone who claimed to be from heaven. So, next slide, please. Okay, first, not Fatima, but Knock, Ireland. In 1852, we had a similar thing happen. There were several witnesses. What it was the local chapel, which was the tallest structure around, and which thereby may have acted as a kind of lightning rod type attractant to an electrical or luminous phenomenon. Against the wall of this stone chapel, several luminous apparitions appeared, and they essentially took the shape of elongated egg-like shapes with more or less a human dimension to them. They were around 6 feet